On Global TV News Express, protest begins in Abuja over Cybercrime Act, hardship orders. In business, refinery owners says petrol can drop below 400 naira per litre. On the foreign scene, U.S. convoy calls for immediate disarmament of Hezbollah. In sport, Brown leads Team Nigeria to World Junior Fencing Championship. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Godwin Sunday. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. And now to the news in details. A nationwide protest led by the Take It Back movement and other civil society organizations has commenced in Abuja. The demonstration, which kicked off this morning, is aimed at drawing attention to the alleged misuse of the Cybercrime Act, the worsening economic hardship in the country, and what organizers have described as a state of emergency in Rivers State. Protesters gathered in the nation's capital wielding placards with various inscriptions such as "Stop the Repression" and "Let Us Breathe," among others. Global TV will keep you up to date as the development unfolds. Meanwhile, operatives of the Nigerian police force have dispersed protesters with tear gas in the Maitama area of Abuja. The protesters, who had gathered peacefully to express their grievances, were thrown into disarray as the tear gas canister sent many scampering for safety. The protest, which is part of a nationwide demonstration spearheaded by the Take It Back movement and other civil society organizations, began earlier in the day to draw attention to several national issues. In a related development, the Northern Youth Council of Nigeria has distanced itself from the planned nationwide protest tagged Take It Back, warning that such demonstration could inflame tension and destabilize the country. President of the group, Issa Abubakar, in a statement issued in Kaduna, says while the council acknowledges the frustration of many young Nigerians, it believes that the current atmosphere calls for restraint, dialogue, and national unity, not street protests. The council stated that it is deeply concerned about the rising tension across various regions and the increasingly fragile political climate across the country. Let's cross over to Rivers State, where operatives of the police command have fired tear gas canisters at protesters who had staged a peaceful protest against what they called bad governance in the country. The protesters under the edges of Take It Back movement were also protesting the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State, as well as the alleged misuse of Cybercrime Act by the Nigerian police force. The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, has condoled with the family and entire people of Kano State over the death of Galadiman Kano, late Abbas Sanusi. Abbas Sanusi, who is the father of the APC state chairman, Abdullahi Abbas, died on Thursday after a brief illness. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibril witnessed the visit in Kano and now reports.
Leaders of the APC. The chairman Abdullahi Ganduje arrived the VIP wing of the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport to, among other things, pay his condolence visit to the Emir of Kano, Amina Ado Bayero. The Emir's palace in Nasarawa, Ganduje was received by the Sarkin Dawaki Aminu Babba and other traditional rulers of the Kano Emirates. The main reason why we visited this historic palace, Your Highness, is to condole you over the passing away of Galadima of Kano. There is no doubt that Galadima of Kano's death is a great loss not only to Kano people or Northerners, but Nigerians in general.
Ba al'ummar jihar Kano kawai ba, gode masa da wannan ziyara
The national chairman of the APC, we thank you for this condolence visit. We are sure if he had been in town at the time of the funeral, we would have done it together with him. We thank God he was at the Holy Land at the time, and we believe his prayers for the Galadima of Kano are answered. Back at Galadanchi quarters, the national chairman met with the state chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Abbas, where he condoled him over the passing away of his father, late Abbas Sanusi. Hundreds of party supporters across the 44 local government areas of Kano State turned out to join Abdullahi Ganduje in condoling the entire people of Kano State over what he described as a great loss, not only to Kano, but Nigeria in general.
The Galadima of Kano is not only a loss to his family or to the people of Kano State, but to the all Nigerians, considering the service that he delivered during his lifetime. He really contributed to the development of traditional institutions in Kano, not only in Kano, but in the whole of the country. Therefore, it is our responsibility to call the people of Kano State to continue to pray for his soul.
Late Abbas Sanusi was crowned the Galadima of Kano after the death of the 13th Emir of Kano, Alhaji Ado Bayero, during whose reign he served as the Wambai of Kano. From Kano, Idris Jubrin, reporting for Global Television News.
The national president of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, Aruna Kankara, says about 20 states have yet to implement the 70,000 naira new minimum wage for local government workers and primary school teachers. The union's leader disclosed this in response to questions on the implementation of the new minimum wage with reference to the local government workers and primary school teachers in the country. The states include Yobe, Gombe, Zamfara, Kaduna, Imo, Ebonyi, Cross River, and the Federal Capital Territory, amongst others. The federal government has approved the establishment of 8,880 new primary health care centers across the country. This is under the Comprehensive Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative, according to Vice President Kashim Shettima. The Vice President disclosed this during the commissioning of the Suleiman Adebola Adeguwa Trauma Center at the Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital, OOUTH, in Shagamu. The facility, worth over 2 billion, was donated to the teaching hospital by an industrious and philanthropist, Asiwaju Suleiman Adebola Adegunwa, to mark his 80th birthday. The Nigerian government has directed all heads of federal universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, and other higher institutions of learning to institutional for public scrutiny. He has announced that they should disclose their annual budget and other data for public also awareness. The Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, gave this directive in a statement released by the ministry's spokesperson, Boriwo Folashade. The minister said that educational institutions should publish their budget breakdown, research grants, tertiary education trust fund allocation, as well as student population on their official website. With Nigerians' unemployment rate continuing to affect millions, particularly the youth, many are left seeking opportunities to build a sustainable future. As government promises reforms and job creation, citizens share their perspectives on the causes and possible solutions to the lingering job crisis. Hassan Kabir completes the story.
Despite various government initiatives and reforms, the rate of unemployment in Nigeria remains a pressing concern, especially among the youth. We explore the realities on ground and hear directly from those most affected. Across the country, young Nigerians are speaking about their struggles, hopes, and ideas for a better future. Here are what they had to say about unemployment and youth empowerment in the country.
The issue of unemployment to be on a high rise. If you compare of number of the graduates that Nigeria is turning in every year, and the space for them to work, we are right that there is a little space for them to work. How much can government take for this unemployment? What kind of government have a little space to absorb the the churning youth that's being both from the academic sector and those that are not even having this formal educations. So what I was thinking is that what government can actually do on this aspect, that if government can ensure that first and foremost the issue of power, if you can enable Nigerians to have access to 24 hours power, irrespective of where you are in the country.
For youth, the government is not encouraging them to do anything. So I would prefer some of the youth that love themselves to look for a business to do or a work to learn, even after your school. Because we continue to pay school fees every day to your children. And at the end of the day, government will never assist any of them. That is where we find ourselves.
There are job opportunities in many government parastatals, but it's being given to who. This is one of the greatest challenges that we are facing. It's not even about creating jobs. The ones that they've already created, did it circulate? Did Nigerians benefit? Who are the Nigerians benefiting from those ones that are already in places?
Unemployment in Nigeria has become more than just a statistics. It's a daily reality for millions of young people across the country with a growing population and limited job opportunities. Many youth are left feeling hopeless and frustrated, while the government promises empowerment initiatives and job creation schemes. The gap between promises and reality continues to widen. Today we take to the street to hear the voices of the people. What do they think is the root causes of this unemployment crisis? What are the solutions do they suggest, and how do they believe youth empowerment can make a difference? Hassan Kabir reporting from Global TV News.
The federal government has been called upon to declare a state of emergency in Nigeria's health sector. Patrick Uju, the second mate of Nas Zuma Dek, made the statement while speaking to journalists during a World Health Day walk in Abuja. Samuel Odi completes the story.
The second mate of Nas Zuma, Patrick Uju, underscores the need for a meeting involving all relevant stakeholders to discuss and tackle pressing issues facing the health sectors. He emphasized that such a move would help restore pride in the medical profession in Nigeria. He further urged the federal government to implement transparent and effective policies aimed at improving the health system.
This country has gone to the point where government needs to declare an emergency in the health sector. Not just in the health sector, but let us focus on the one we are celebrating today. There is need to call a stakeholders meeting. The government must be honest, they must be sincere. They must come forth with policies that will make people look at it and say, okay, I can take pride in being a doctor in Nigeria. Apart from satisfaction of saving people's lives, solving people's problems, you also take the satisfaction that your own problem is also being catered for.
It's possible. I know that people worry about a whole lot of things, but health, for you to have good health, you must have physical activity. The least you can do is walk. The body is structured to work. Most people think that for you to exercise, you need to play football, play lawn tennis, or do other extraneous activities. But from what we learn when we have periodical health talks is that walking is the simplest form of exercise, and walking is even easier for the aged people, because the body is made in such a way that the more you exercise your legs, the healthier you stay. It gives you opportunity for your heart. Your heart works faster. Your all internal organs function better when you walk. So I will encourage the elderly amongst us to imbibe the habit of walking.
The group further highlighted the importance of ensuring the welfare of doctors through deliberate effort from the government. Samuel Odi, reporting for Global Television News.
As part of activities to mark the 2025 National Police Day, the Nigerian Police Force has organized a walkathon in Abuja. The event featured senior police officers, rank-and-file personnel, police families, and members of the public, all walking through major cities' routes to promote fitness, solidarity, and security awareness. Ramsey Enoch Agbo completes the story.
The walkathon began at the force headquarters and aimed to encourage a healthy lifestyle among officers while strengthening police-community relations. Participants wore branded shirts, with this year's theme and walk in unity, chanting peace songs and pledging commitment to service. Wife of the Inspector General of Police and President of the Police Officers' Wives Association, Dr. Elizabeth Egbetokun, addressed the journalists on the importance of community roles in maintaining peace and security.
To support them, to make sure that the event is successful. Exercise is very important. The message I have for Nigerians is that we should be security conscious, and it's not all about the police. Police is your friend. You have to give information to the police to be able to exercise their duties.
Walkathon is one of the several events planned for the National Police Day celebration, including police lectures, community outreaches, award ceremonies, and a Thanksgiving service. Authorities said the celebration is meant to honor police officers' sacrifices and reinforce the force's dedications to peace, integrity, and professionalism. Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global TV News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, refinery owners say petrol can drop below 400 naira per litre. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria has said that the price of premium motor spirits, otherwise called petrol, can drop below 400 naira per litre with the current crash in crude oil prices. The association says there is no reason petrol should not be sold at 350 naira per litre if crude prices eventually fall to $50 per barrel. However, the Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria noted that petrol prices will continue to rise despite the crash in crude prices and the reduction in its landing cost. The federal government has acknowledged that several Nigerians' oil and non-oil exports are set to face adverse effects due to the newly imposed tariff by U.S. President Donald Trump on Nigerian exports. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, admitted in a statement in Abuja. The tariff, which is expected to disrupt trade relations on a global scale, could potentially weaken the competitiveness of Nigerian products in the U.S. market. The federal government has reiterated its commitment to establishing more gemstone and jewelry-making centers across the country to boost entrepreneurship in the mining industry and support the local value addition policy. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, made this known during a tour of the Laurel School of Mining in Abuja. Sharon Ajay has the details.
The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, commended the Laurel School of Mining for leading the way in training jewelry and gemstone makers, expressing satisfaction with the quality of the jewelry produced. He says the training center contribution to the mining industry has the potential to provide employment for the youth, drive industrialization of the sector, and generate more revenue for the country.
Major contribution to this economy via the solid mineral sector, and this is one of the things that we said earlier on, that we're going to improve every sector of the solid mineral space to make its own contribution. And you can see what this center is training people who are going out to train and to actually work, and that's part of the local value addition we are talking about. Yeah, the center now is really like doing processing, cutting, all the value chain of jewelry making, and that's what we have seen here now. So what more way can you contribute to the economy than actually producing something from our raw materials in Nigeria, rather than taking those raw materials out for finished products? They are now being finished right here, which is a value addition. So that's a significant contribution to the economy. It's going to generate employment, more production, and of course more revenue, and then more taxes for government as well. And then people will get engaged. You know, a lot of illegal operators would also move into this sector. A lot of our youth that are roaming the streets, this is an opportunity for them to come and learn something, you know, handiwork. And this is more than handiwork. This is actually industrialization. When you are manufacturing, when you are producing, it's industrialization. And that's what we're doing here. So it is really making significant contribution to this economy. In another year or so, we'll be able to put figures to the production value. You know, we'll be able to say, okay, this center has contributed X amount of dollars or naira or whatever it is to the GDP of Nigeria. But overall, I'm very satisfied with what is happening here.
The minister reiterated the federal government's commitment to strengthening production at the center and assured that more such centers will be established across the country once the 2025 budget implementation begins. He also highlighted the importance of increasing jewelry production, not just to meet local demand, but also for export purposes, noting that this sector has the potential to become a major foreign exchange earner for the country.
Just been given the budget, we haven't even gotten the warrant for expenditure yet, but the plans are already on. Immediately money is available, we started. In fact, with this center now, it's encouraging to begin to attract jewelry making factories and gemstone factories, and we are going to do that. And this center would be like a reservoir, a pool from where experts will be drawn to service those factories that will be coming up. So this is very, very significant center.
In his remarks, the MD and CEO of Laurel School of Mining, Tope Adebanjo, expressed gratitude to the ministry for its support, stressing that the ongoing Batch 4 Advanced Masterclass training would not have been possible without the ministry's assistance. He also outlined plans to further develop entrepreneurs in Nigeria's gemstone and jewelry industry and requested continued support from Dr. Alake to ensure maximum utilization of the center's equipment to foster the growth of mining entrepreneurs who will create wealth and employment opportunities for the nation's youth. The Laurel School of Mining is a professional training facility dedicated to the development of the gem and jewelry industry. It focuses on mining, exploration, and manufacturing of high-quality gemstones and jewelry. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
On the foreign scene, U.S. envoy to the Middle East, Morgan Ortago, has called for the immediate disarmament of Hezbollah and other armed groups, emphasizing that Lebanese security forces should take the lead in the effort. Ortagos made the remark during an interview at the end of a 3-day visit to Beirut. During the visit, she met with President Joseph Aoun, Prime Minister Nawaf Salam, Speaker of Parliament Nabi Berri, and other senior government officials and political leaders. In sports, the Nigerian Lionel Messi was on target but out of sorts. Inter Miami were held to a 1-1 draw by strugglers Toronto FC in Major League Soccer. Toronto winless this season were full value for their points and created enough chances to have ever won the game. The Canadian side, 11th in the 15th team in Eastern Conference, caused plenty of problems for Miami's shaky defense and struck the woodwork twice on the early stage of the game. As Global TV News Express comes to an end, let's take a recap of our top stories. A nationwide protest led by the Take It Back movement and other civil society organizations has commenced in Abuja. Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria has said that the price of premium motor spirit, petrol, can drop below 400 naira per litre with the current crash in oil prices. On the foreign scene, U.S. envoy to the Middle East, Morgan Ortagus, called for the immediate disarmament of Hezbollah and other armed groups, emphasizing that Lebanese security forces should take the lead in the effort. Nigeria's highest-ranked fencer and World Tomo Satellite Cup silver medalist, Ikosi Bro, will lead Nigeria's six-man squad to the 2025 World Junior and Cadet Fencing Championship, which holds from Monday till Tuesday, April 15th. That's it on the Global TV News Express. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Godwin Sunday. Thank you for watching.